Hey, welcome back to FX Club. This month we're going to be playing around with some wax, which is a great product to start off with when you want to do some three-dimensional stuff onto your skin, like making horrible looking wounds or disgusting looking fingers. And we'll be doing a bunch of different little techniques that are really fun and quick to do. So let's get started.
First step, open up your effects box. In this month's effects box we've got some blood, some wax, some Vaseline, some book pages and some toothpicks. We're first going to start with the wax, so open it up and using a spatula just scrape out a little bit of the wax so you get about a pea size. When you're using wax you want to make sure that it's nice and warm, so you just want to roll it around in your fingers for a little bit to warm it up. Then we're going to put this little pea of wax on the top of our finger on the right side. Then on the left side of our finger we're going to put another ball of wax and just make sure that the top of that ball reaches the bottom of the right side. Then for the right side you just want to blend it out so that it's blended upwards into your finger. Then for the left side we want to blend it downwards so that you've got a little ridge that kind of can connect the two balls, and so it looks like your finger has been sliced. To get a better idea of the shape that you're going for, have a look at the instructional sheet. Wipe off any extra wax back into your wax container and then just blend out your wax so that it does kind of connect. Once you're happy with the shape, you can grab your Vaseline and use a little bit to blend out your wax. Vaseline makes wax really nice and smooth, but be aware that it will be really difficult to put any more wax on after you've applied the Vaseline because it does make it a little less sticky. Now we're going to add some colour to our wound, so using a little bit of the red and brown colours on your bruise wheel, you want to add a little bit of redness around your cut just to show that it's inflamed. You can use a little bit of the blue colour as well, just to add a little bit of bruising around your finger. Now, to make this look super awesome, you might want to add another slit lower down on your finger as well. This will really give the illusion that your finger has been cut in two different places and the skin has detached from the finger. Use some of the darker colours on your bruise wheel to give the cut some depth. Now it's time to add some blood, so using your toothpick, apply a little bit of blood into your cuts. And then that is our first finger design all done. Next up, we're going to create a cool design using a ring. So make sure that you're wearing a ring before you start doing this. And you want to have your ring right down to the bottom of your finger. Then create a little worm of wax and put it across your finger like so. Then using a spatula, you want to blend the top of this worm and then also blend the bottom so you have a bit of a ridge along your finger. Then what you can do to make the wax look a little bit more realistic is just use the edge of your spatula to create some little creases like what you have on your finger's knuckle. Then using a bit of Vaseline, just blend it out nicely. Now we want to add a little bit of colour to this, so just using your bruise wheel, get a little bit of the dark red and just make it look a little bit more red and sore. Now we can just slide our ring up to that wax, and as you can see it looks like the skin has been pulled upwards and it looks like your ring is really stuck. So this already in itself looks pretty cool. Then you just want to add a little bit more colour underneath the ring just to make that part look very sore as well. And now of course, because we're using a bruise wheel, we want to powder it off a little bit as well, so just powder off that colour. Then another thing that we can do with this look is you can grab another little worm of wax and put it at the bottom of your finger, and we're going to make a little ridge so it looks like when the ring got lifted up that it actually ripped the skin and you've got an open wound. So you want to put a little ridge of wax at the bottom of your finger and blend it downwards. And again, when you're happy with the shape, use a bit of Vaseline to blend it out. Grab your bruise wheel and add some colour around that part of the wound as well. And then it is time to add some blood. So grab your blood and you just want to fill in that whole gap where the ring meets that bottom ridge, and it looks pretty gruesome. So that is another cool finger trick that you can do using wax. But go on to the final design for this month's effects box. And with this one we're actually going to be using our book paper. So you just want to cut out a shape with this book paper. Here we're doing a love heart. You want the shape to be able to fit into the palm of your hand, so don't make it too big. Then we're going to get some wax, scrape off a tiny bit and just scrape it onto the inside of your hand just to hold the paper down. Put the paper on top of that wax. Then we're going to create some little worms of wax again, and we're going to put them around the outside of that piece of paper and blend it out. Once you've got your wax nicely blended out, you can kind of pinch the wax a little bit to make it really look like it's skin that's been lifted up. Then then of course, once you're happy with the blending, you can just grab the Vaseline and blend it out a little bit further. And then of course next grab your bruise wheel and add a little bit of colour around your wound. You want to add some redness so that it looks nice and inflamed. Use some translucent powder to powder off your wound. You can also use your bruise wheel to add a little bit of depth on the inside of your skin. So just go along the edges of your shape that you've made with some colour. Then you want to add some blood, of course. So you just want to go around the edges of your wound there and add some blood. You really want to be able to see the paper still, so don't put on too much. If you think you need to, you can add some more bruising around your wound there as well. And now it's time to show the illusion. So grab a book that has very similar kind of writing in it and place your hand on top of it. Then if you take a photo of that, it will look like you've got a hole in your hand and you can see the book coming through underneath it. I hope you guys enjoyed this Effects Club this month, and remember to share your creations with us by hashtagging FX Club NZ.